Okay, thanks a lot for that, Varsha. So certainly watch out for this one. And Pharma has had a fairly decent move selectively in the session today. So that's actually a good sign. Vineet, comment on this one. Sun Pharma, some of the CDMO companies, analysts today told us that the Jan and March numbers have looked pretty strong for Laurus and a few others. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, so CDMO is going to be the space to watch out for in full year 20, calendar year 25, 26, and 27. And stocks which are looking to do well are DVs. We'd be looking at Laurus Labs, 1.1 source. These are some of the stocks which have got good capacities for complex products margins and huge capacity. So today the thing is not whether you can do CDMO, but at what scale can you do it? And out here, I think Laurus Labs scores, and one source is the other stock which is putting up significant capacity. So bullish on both.
Bullish view coming in on Laurus Laboratories as well as the Sun Pharma. Let's also welcome in Nilesh Jain, Head AVP Technical and Derivative Research at Centrum. Nilesh, good afternoon and welcome to the show. What would you do with a Sun Pharma and a Laurus Laboratories?
Very good afternoon to you. Well, it's a buy. So overall, if you look at the pharma pack today, we are witnessing a good rebound. Specifically Sun Pharma, if you look at this particular stock where we have witnessed good build-up on the long side with an OI addition of more than 4%. And technically as well, we have seen a good momentum today. The stock is also, in fact, it is on the verge of a breakout from its 21-day moving average. So it's a buy for the upside target of 1680 to 1700 with a stop loss below 1625. Sun Pharma can be bought at current level. And apart from that, the another stock, Laurus Lab, this particular stock is also doing pretty well today. We have seen 2 days of correction, and today we are witnessing a strong rebound. So a follow-up move could be seen. It can be a good BTST trade for the further upside move towards 580 to 585 can be seen. Stop loss can be placed below 560.
Right, so stop loss below 560 is what you're looking out for in terms of Laurus Laboratories. But moving from here on, in fact, we also have another stock that is in focus that we were discussing about is a Tata Communication. Varsha is again standing by with us. ICICI Securities has upgraded the counter. Varsha, a target price of 1840. Why are they positive and why are 1840?
Right. So actually, the upside potential that we are talking about is 34%. Now, the recent decline, what they're saying is the recent decline in Tata Communication stock has made valuation compelling and risk-reward favorable. And Tata Communications' performance over the last 12 months was affected by various challenges, particularly a muted order book. However, the order flow has started gaining traction, and also the company remains confident of more conversion from its strong sales funnel, which has piled up over the last few years. In FY24, as per ICICI, the company faced setbacks due to cable cut in the Red Sea and weak order book growth. But with the Red Sea issue now behind and double-digit growth in FY25 year-to-date order book, the brokerage expects Tata Communications data revenue growth to swell. And the digital services revenue growth is also expected to pick up from the fourth quarter onwards, driven by large deal expectations and also sustained momentum into FY26. And ICICI Securities also believes that aside from their strong digital product portfolio, the market is yet to fully factor in the company's 3,300 crore estimated free cash flow generation in FY27 in core connectivity, which represents 7.2% of enterprise value. And lastly, company has launched many products servicing cloud ecosystem, which shall benefit from its adoption. So these are the reasons why there's an upgrade and increase in target price.
Okay, well, 9.5% higher for this one. Good going here. And Nilesh Jain is with us too. Nilesh, while you give us your index view, give us a view on Tata Com again. I mean, we asked Kush about it, but such a strong move today. What do you think of it? Also, are you trading the Nifty or the Bank Nifty in any fashion, Nilesh?
Well, no doubt we have seen a good rebound today from the lower levels after testing the lows about 22,300. That's the strike where we have seen a huge amount of put writing as well. So that is likely to act as a major support from here. So we are expecting a follow-up move to continue towards the levels of 22,600. So to play a 100-point move, one can keep a stop loss below 22,300 and wait for some dip towards 22,450 that will provide a good risk and reward. As of now, at current level, at present level, there is no trade. But if at all, if we see any dip towards 22,450, that can be used as a buying opportunity. Because looking at the today's rebound, we are expecting a follow-up move in the coming session. Now, coming back to telecom space, specifically Tata Communication, we have seen a good build-up on the long side, close to 7% OI has been added today, with a good breakout coming in about 21 DMA in this particular counter, and volume activity has also picked up today with the volume of over 41 lakh. So the good setup for a follow-up move in the coming session towards 1520 to 1550 can be seen. But at present level, the risk and reward is not favorable, not advisable to buy at current level, and better to wait for some dip towards 1450 to 1420. That can be a good opportunity to initiate a fresh long with a stop loss below 1380. But at present, it's an avoid. But yes, if somebody is already holding the long position, can keep a trailing stop loss at somewhere around 1470 and ride this momentum till 1520 to 1550.
Right. So that's with regards to Tata Communication and the overall view in terms of markets. Nilesh, very quickly, your top picks.
All right, Hidal. So I have two buy recommendation. First of all, OMC space. Today we are witnessing a good rebound after 2 days of decline. So BPCL is something that is looking attractive at current level. We have seen a good build-up on the long side in this particular counter. So we are expecting a follow-up in the BPCL futures. So one can buy with a stop loss below 257 for the upside target of 275. Another stock is on the buy side is JSW Energy. Again, a similar setup, a good breakout can be seen from a consolidation breakout. So JSW Energy is a buy in futures with a stop loss below 504 and target would be 532.
Okay. Interesting moves, of course, in markets by and large. We put out that piece just a while back, just the comparisons. And for IndusInd Bank, which had a 52-week high of 1576, now at 655, the market cap is 51,000 crores, which is lower than now Yes Bank as well. So in the pecking order of the larger banks by market cap, IndusInd has come down quite significantly in the last 12 months. Not necessarily the best of things. In fact, now below 51,000 as well, 27.5% lower for IndusInd Bank. For people who might be tuning in right now, Kushbora, no respite, right? You wouldn't think of bottom fishing here for a short-term uptrend, would you? A bounce back move?
No, not at all. As I said, because of the oversold nature on the daily and the weekly charts, there could be some respite that might come about. The only problem is from what level does that rebound come about? A stock losing 27% in a day, having already lost about 10-15% previously. Those levels might not hold just yet. So don't venture into a stock like this, especially when there are plenty more options and rather more stable and favorable ones. You'd perhaps want to consider those Shriram Finance and Bajaj Finance. If you go to Housing Finance and Aavas Finance, some of these names to just put out there, but definitely not an IndusInd Bank at the moment.
Okay. What's also doing well is Castrol. It's getting into the data center coolant business, and that stock is up 3% today. I think if I'm not wrong, if you pull up the 1 month chart, you will see that it's had a fair degree of green in an otherwise sideways market at the mid cap and the small cap end. So let's get the 1 month chart for Castrol right there, 16 or 17% higher for Castrol over the last 1 month. Some serious moves that have happened here. Vineet, fundamentally, any thoughts here on Castrol?
So, the myth has been dispelled that, EVs will take over their world. And, loops continue to run the roost. They're getting added bullish verticals from data centers and coolants for EVs. So, the growth path continues. And, we think that there's a possibility of another 10% move on this stock before it gets, kind of fairly valued. But in relation to Castrol, we think that Gulf Oil looks to be a better stock to look at. And we think that there is a significant 20% upside waiting to play out there.
Right, so that's Gulf oil. But interestingly, when you mention about Castrol as well, Bloomberg had reported that Saudi Aramco is weighing a potential offer for the Castrol lubricants business of BP. So probably that could be one of the triggers why you're seeing this kind of a move. But Kush, coming to you, your BTST calls, I think you have something on Castrol as well.
I was just going to say that. Did the team give you a heads up? Because this is like a beautiful tie-in, a beautiful segue. Castrol is indeed my BTSC, calls for the day. In fact, it was I think about 4th of this month where we did discuss this for targets of 236 rather the second target of 236. The stock did well, went to the 250 mark and corrected a bit, but that is more of profit booking. You could see that kind of a move. The move that you're seeing today is actually a reinforcement of that. So it's still a buy, as you said, with the kind of structural changes happening, positionally the stock could actually rise much higher. But from a trading perspective, the revised targets from this one are 246 and 252. Your stop loss comes in at 234.
That's with regards to where Castrol goes. Nilesh, any BTST calls at your end?
All right. So two stocks that we have just mentioned are can be considered as a BTST as well. That's JSW Energy and BPCL. But apart from that, Nifty Realty Pack as a whole is looking very strong after today's rebound. So within this space, counters like Godrej Properties, PLF, Oberoi Realty, in fact, all these three stocks are forming a bullish engulfing pattern. So specifically, Oberoi Realty is looking attractive for a follow-up move to continue towards 1600 to 1625. So these are the two targets on the upside with a stop loss below 1570. Overall reality can be bought.
Real estate has had a good move today. Vineet, I don't know if we started off talking about real estate or no, but the big rebound day today for real estate stocks, fundamentally, are you a buyer into any specific names or would you stay on the sidelines?
So I'm completely avoiding real estate stocks, specifically those focused on the IT major hubs. So that is Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad, and Gurgaon. The reason being that, if there is any kind of disruption on jobs for IT sector, back office translation, then I think, these stocks will get impacted the most. And we don't have to wait for very long. 4th of April is when you will get to know what's happening. And hence, just staying away from these stocks for a while.
Right. So stay away with regards to
At least the South-based names.
South-based names, absolutely. But what's interesting is going to be as to how the super luxury project companies are doing from here on. I think that's the trend we will have to watch out for. And what's happening to rental yields as well, right? Because that is on an increase. So probably a Mindspace REIT, as we were discussing, but nothing happening on the stock itself. Very quickly, Vineet, any view in terms of Mindspace REITs?
Sorry, I don't track the REITs, so I will not be able to comment on that.
Right. So moving on, HEG, that's another stock that is in focus. In fact, it's having a ripple effect on a Graphite India as well. Though the stock has cooled off, seeing gains of around 3%. It hit an intraday high of around 7.5. Mika tells us as to what are the key triggers with regards to HEG. Mika, over to you.
So HEG an intraday high of 7.6%, multiple triggers for this counter. The first one is an investment approval. So the company's board has approved a 250 crore investment in Bhilwara Energy. This investment will come from Singularity Growth Opportunities, which is backed by Adhisadan Kela. Now the details of the investments, well, Bhilwara Energy will issue 1.76 crore equity shares at a face value of rupees 10, and Singularity will hold 9.6% of the paid up share capital post the issue, and HEG will own 44.3% stake post the transaction, and Singularity will have the right to nominate one director in the company's board. It also has the option to invest another 250 crores post the completion of the first transaction, but this should not be done for a share price lower than 142.08 rupees. The second trigger tweaks to the demerger plan. The board has approved to draft a scheme of arrangement between HEG Graphite and Bhilwara Energy. Now the proposal aims to demerge HEG's graphite business into HEG Graphite and the amalgamation of Bhilwara into HEG. Multiple benefits from this tweak scheme. One is to unlock value for shareholders of each of the businesses, to also allow better flexibility in terms of accessing capital, because it will attract different set of investors, lenders, etc. The restructuring will also help enable a focused growth strategy and provide better visibility on the performance to investors and enhance the operational efficiency, as it will de-risk the businesses from each other. Lastly, when you talk about the future outlook, well, in the Q3 con call, HEG's management did remain an optimistic view in terms of their medium to long-term outlook. They also expect demand recovery in the second half of 2025, subsequently where prices which are currently under pressure are expected to improve, and they're also well positioned to capitalize on the increased export demand that they are exporting 2/3 of the volumes to.
Well, thanks for that, Mika. Singularity's investment into this one. I wonder if graphite electrode companies are interesting businesses to look at, Vineet, and if they are not, now tell us, because the markets have corrected so much, what within the small cap space looks exciting?
So we like a stock called Salzer. It has got, yeah.
Okay.
So it is into your switch gears. It's getting some orders for smart meters, EV chargers, doing really, really well. And you can have a very good upside on that. If you were to look at PSU banks, and if you call them small size banks, then I think your CUB looks very good out there. I think, in line with the theme of manufacturing picking up, CUB, not CSB, CUB, City Union Bank. City Union Bank should do really well. They've had 100+ years of dividend history, always grown 15%, best in class NIMs, 3+% NIMs for a MSME is very good, where the cost of funds is not that low. And good, very strong management. They've lived through life cycles of bull and bear markets. They know what works, what doesn't work. And so, when you are struggling with an IndusInd Bank, I think City Union Bank offers a lot of comfort to that extent.
Right. So that's with regards to City Union Bank that comes in with comfort. 5.5% is the kind of downtick that you're seeing in today's session, but a good buy, as Vineet is mentioning, and a Salzer Technologies. But let's quickly look at what we should be watching out for from here on. Firstly, you have the US jobs data that will be in focus for this week. Secondly, you have ECOFIN meeting, which is the Economic and Financial Affairs Council configuration meeting that will be relevant from a European market perspective. Japan PPI data is something that we will be eyeing as well. So this is on the global front. And the other things which are on Profit's watch list is the general meeting at Genesis International Corporation. So that's the only one. No major items on the domestic front, but clearly, I think the way markets move and the FIDI number, I think, is what we will be eyeing from here on with the kind of volumes we saw yesterday. Because that probably will give you some indication whether there is comfort that the markets are giving them or not.
Yeah, well, very likely that today will be a slightly different day, but interesting to watch for sure. Okay, what else? As we start wrapping up the markets, Arcade Developers is doing very well for itself. 5% higher, something that Parag Thakkar mentioned on the show the other day. So that stock is doing well. We spoke about Jubilant. The one which has done well today is Persistent on a day when the Nifty IT. By the way, the Nifty IT has gained a lot of lost ground. It's now just down 0.6%. So keep that in mind. But Persistent, 1.5% higher and trading very well for itself. So Nilesh, any thoughts on Persistent as a trade?
Well, good rebound today we have seen from the levels of 5,000. So a good close as well. So we may see a follow-up move towards 5350 to 5400. But I would rather wait for a confirmation. If it closes above 5300 or if it breaks above 5300, that will be a first level of confirmation. Then probably it can be bought with a stop loss below 5150. And target would be 5,400 to 5,500. There is no doubt about that. The recovery that we have seen in the Nifty IT index today looks like it is forming a hammer candle and looks good as a whole Nifty IT pack for a follow-up move, or can we may see a follow-up move towards 37,800 to 38,000 levels in the coming session in the Nifty IT index.
That's too persistent. Kush, very quickly, your view with regards to a Paytm, 7.5% up move. Would you still be a buyer?
So Paytm, I'd wait and watch. There's a falling trend line resistance plus a 20-day moving average resistance near the 725, 730 zone. Once that is taken out, you could see some sort of an up move. The moves that you're seeing right now are more of a 200-day moving average support that the stock is holding on to.
All right. With that, gentlemen, thank you so much, all three of you, for joining me today. Really, really appreciate your time. A minute left for the markets to shut shop. And let me quickly wind down trades as they are. It's not a bad day for our markets. We actually done well. IT's recovered a bit of lost ground. The Nifty virtually at the high point of the day today on the closing basis. Bank Nifty okay. Nifty IT's recovered a lot of ground, which is actually a good sign. Look at this chart. Beautiful chart here from a bull's perspective. Started at the low point, ending at the high point. So in some sense, very nice chart. Advanced decline ratio would possibly be looking a bit better, but let's get the heat map up on the screen. Right here, yeah, definitely looking better. A bit of a convergence, if you will. Let's get the heat map up on the screen. IndusInd sulks, ends at the low point of the day. Yes, Infi is still down, but the others, including HCL Tech, including TCS, etc., have recovered a bit of lost ground, which is actually a good thing. Trent, top gainer. BPCL not doing badly on the HSBC note today. Sun Pharma, ICICI, Shriram Finance, HDFC Life and Bharti are amongst the others that have done really well for themselves. And let's just get the BSE 500 contributors before we wrap up the trade today. Right here on your screen, Tatacom, 197, that is Paytm. Some strength for HEG and Graphite India and Phoenix Mills too. Macrotech from the real estate pack doing very well. Tube Investments up 6.5%. Hykel up 5%. On the losing side, Polymedicure down. IndusInd, of course, tops the list, but Polymedicure, City Union Bank, Bandhan Bank also facing pressure. Triveni Turbine and SIS round up the other list. So that's the long and short of what the trade has been like today. Thanks so much for tuning into India Market Close. But stay tuned, a lot more coming up on NDTV Profit.